Hello friends, it is story time. Today, I will tell you a story about a man and his cat. A man once posted a photo of a cat sitting at his desk, and people assumed it was just an ordinary picture of a cat chilling out. However, when he revealed the truth behind the photo, everybody was astounded. The cat's name is Bodhi, and he comes into work every day so that he can eat. He works regular office hours from 9 to 5, just like any other worker. He would sit patiently at his owner's desk and wait for him to leave so that he could feast on his lunch. But what's even more amazing is that Bodhi only eats the food that his owner leaves behind and never touches anything else. Every time his owner, Richard, went to the kitchen to get himself some food, he would always take a big portion of his meal and leave it in the fridge for Bodhi. Bodhi would patiently wait until Richard left for work before heading over to the fridge and eating all the food. Richard would come back home from work around 5 p.m. and he would be surprised to find that the food he had left for Bodhi was already finished. At first, he thought it was strange that the cat was eating his food, but then he realized that this was just Bodhi's way of taking care of his family. And so he started leaving more food for Bodhi every morning, which made Bodhi very happy. Bodhi is a true survivor who has had to work hard his entire life. He grew up on the streets where he had to scavenge for food and fend for himself. He never had a real home or a family until he met Richard. Richard was walking down the street one day when he saw Bodhi sitting on the sidewalk. He felt sorry for the cat because he looked so skinny and hungry. So he bought him some food and brought him home. Bodhi was so grateful for Richard's kindness that he purred non-stop for days. Richard could tell that Bodhi was a special cat and he decided to keep him as a pet. But Bodhi didn't just sit around and relax. He wanted to help Richard in any way he could. Every morning when Richard got ready for work, Bodhi would follow him to the office. He would sit patiently at Richard's desk all day and wait for him to finish work. Then they would go home together, and Bodhi would eat the food that Richard had left for him. Richard was touched by Bodhi's loyalty and love. He knew that he had found a true friend in this cat. It wasn't easy for Bodhi to adjust to life in an office building. There were lots of people and noise, and he had to be careful not to get under anyone's feet. But Bodhi was a smart cat, and he quickly learned how to navigate the office. He would meow politely when he wanted attention and never caused any trouble. His presence in the office actually made everyone feel happier and more relaxed. People would take breaks just to pet Bodhi, and he would purr contentedly. Richard was so proud of his cat and knew that he was bringing joy to everyone around him. The routine continued for many years, and Bodhi became a beloved member of the office. Everyone knew about Bodhi and his dedication to his owner. People would often ask Richard how he managed to train a cat to come to work every day. But he would just smile and say that Bodhi was a special cat. He knew that Bodhi wasn't doing this for any particular reason. The cat just loved being with him and wanted to be close to him as much as possible. One day, something unusual happened. Bodhi didn't show up for work. Richard was worried, so he called his office and asked if they had seen Bodhi. They told him that they had seen Bodhi that morning, but they hadn't seen him since. Richard was concerned, so he started looking for Bodhi. He checked all their usual spots, but Bodhi was nowhere to be found. Richard was starting to get really worried. He didn't know what to do, and he was afraid that something bad had happened to Bodhi. He put up some posters with Bodhi's picture on them and asked people to contact him if they had seen the cat. But days turned into weeks, and there was still no sign of Bodhi. Richard was heartbroken. He missed Bodhi's presence at the office, and he was worried about what had happened to him. He kept hoping that Bodhi would turn up safe and sound, but he was beginning to lose hope. Then one day, just when Richard was about to give up the search, he got a call. A woman on the other end of the line told him that she had seen a cat that looked exactly like Bodhi. Richard was overjoyed. He immediately got in his car and drove to the woman's house. And there he saw Bodhi sitting on the porch. Richard couldn't believe his eyes. He rushed over to Bodhi and hugged him tightly. Bodhi purred loudly and rubbed against Richard's legs. Richard was so happy to have Bodhi back. He couldn't stop petting him and scratching him behind the ears. Richard couldn't understand why Bodhi had run away, but he was just glad to have him back. When he took Bodhi back to the office, everyone was overjoyed. They had missed Bodhi so much and were so happy to see him back. Richard was so grateful to the woman who had called him and told him that she had seen Bodhi. Without her help, he might have never seen Bodhi again, and so Bodhi returned to his normal routine, coming to work with Richard every day and eating the food that he left for him. Bodhi continued to work in the office until he was 16 years old. By that time, he had become a beloved member of the staff, and everyone was sad to see him go. However, Bodhi lived a long and happy life and was loved by everyone who knew him. In the small town where Richard lived, there was a legend about a brave cat who worked in an office. People would tell stories about Bodhi's loyalty and dedication to his owner, and many people were inspired by the cat's story. Bodhi may have been just an ordinary cat to some people, but to Richard, he was a true friend and companion. He was a cat who worked hard his entire life to take care of his family and never gave up hope. He was a brave cat who was willing to do whatever it took to survive, and a loyal cat who never forgot where he came from. The story of Bodhi, the cat, reminds us that we should never judge a book by its cover. Cats may seem like independent and aloof creatures, but they are capable of great love and loyalty. And who knows, maybe there are other cats out there who work hard to take care of their families, just like Bodhi did. So if you ever see a stray cat, don't just walk away. Take a moment to learn their story, because they might teach you more than you can ever imagine. Some people might think that cats are cold-hearted and unfeeling creatures, but that's just not true. This cat proves it. It's not easy to be affectionate and friendly towards strangers, especially for a cat who had a rough start in life. But this cat manages to do just that. That's why so many people fall in love with cats. They're mysterious, independent, and full of surprises. And this cat is no exception. It's heartwarming to see how this cat shows affection and seeks attention from those around him. If you've ever been lucky enough to meet a cat like this, you know what I'm talking about. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like the video. And if you want to hear more amazing stories like this one, stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.